News.
The DMV has announced the winning New York license plate design. And the worst of Dorian is over for the U.S., but officials continue to track the storm. Plus, the third Hidden Landmarks episode is here. What new Elmira history will you be learning this morning?
Live from your local news leader, this is 18 News Today.
Good Saturday morning, Twin Tiers. I'm Alexis Bellamy. Today is September 7th.
And I'm Jessica Camille. Thank you for joining us this morning.
So I noticed we're wearing almost similar colors, but you're in like longer sleeves and I'm in short sleeves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always cold. That's kind of why. I was cold this morning.
Okay, well, yeah, I was cold this morning too. But the question now is, I guess I'm worried, who's right and who's wrong? Am I wrong? Is it going to be
I mean, it's going to be feeling like fall today.
Okay.
So we're kind of dressed like fall. We got the autumn colors going for us this morning. Temperatures around 57 degrees right now. We are under mostly cloudy skies in most spots across the Twin Tiers. Seeing a calm wind out there as well. Taking a look at the radar, we are visibilities, I should say. Sorry about that. We are pretty much seeing very low visibilities just up towards Spencer, and that's all due to some patchy fog that we're seeing in spots. Luckily enough, though, that's going to continue to lift heading throughout the morning. Temperatures primarily in the 50 marks this morning, around 57 here in Elmira, 59 up towards Watkins Glen, and in the mid-50s down across the northern tier. The radar not looking half bad this morning under partly to mainly cloudy skies out there. Heading towards the afternoon hours. This is when we have that chance to see some scattered light rain showers work in. This is going to be associated with a weak disturbance that's coming into our area as we head throughout the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be more fall-like, though, like I mentioned earlier, up in those lower 70 marks. I'll have a better look at your forecast and let you know when drier air is finally going to work back in and we see more of that sunshine coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Jessica. Well, the results are in. The New York DMV announced the winning license plate design on Friday. The DMV says plate design number 5 is the big winner. Let's take a look at that design, shall we? It's the only one that has both upstate and downstate represented on the plate. Voting for new plates ran from August 19th to September 2nd. The new plates will replace the aging Empire Blue and White plates and the Empire Gold plates next year. Currently, over 3 million vehicles in New York State have aging plates that are 10 years old or even older. The governor's office says because of their age, many of the plates are damaged, oxidized, and peeling, making it difficult or impossible to read the license plate number. The current $25 license plate replacement fee will be added to the cost of the vehicle owner's registration renewal. Customers may also keep their current license plate number for an additional $20 fee. A drug bust in Horseheads lands 2 people behind bars last night. Horseheads police arrested 32-year-old Dominic Smallwood of Elmira and 22-year-old Megan Senna from Roulette, Pennsylvania, and they are both charged with criminal possession of a controlled substance. The arrests come after police say they were investigating a suspicious persons complaint at an abandoned home on Steuben Street. They left before police arrived. A short time later, their car was pulled over. Police say they found meth and other drugs inside. The 2 were arraigned and sent to the county jail. This morning, Hurricane Dorian is a Category 1 storm churning in the Atlantic south of Nantucket, Massachusetts, and heading quickly towards eastern Canada. While the worst of the storm's impact on the U.S. is over, the hard part is just getting underway in the Bahamas. NBC's Chris Pallone has the latest.
After a deadly 10-day journey, Hurricane Dorian is winding down.
Finally, Hurricane Dorian has left North Carolina.
But not before the storm delivered a parting blow to the Carolina coastline with powerful winds and a deluge of rain, knocking down trees and leaving hundreds of thousands without power. In Nags Head, North Carolina, Dorian blew the roof off this building. And on Ocracoke Island, around 800 people who ignored evacuation orders were trapped when the storm surge rose 7 feet in just 2 hours. The Coast Guard airlifted a 79-year-old man who needed medical attention to safety. But Governor Roy Cooper says there are no reports of serious injuries or deaths.
Don't allow us to suffer anymore by staying here another night.
It's a stark contrast to the Bahamas, where at least 43 people are confirmed dead and entire neighborhoods are nothing but rubble after Dorian struck when it was a Category 5 storm.
Now there's no more my shower.
Nothing?
Nothing. Our host gone, everything gone.
Across the region, people are scrambling to help. Cruise ships loaded with relief supplies are headed to the Bahamas from Florida, and the U.S. Coast Guard is rescuing some of the injured. The Prime Minister of the Bahamas is pleading for patience as frustration grows over a situation that is getting more dire by the hour. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Governor Cuomo announcing on Friday that 14 new properties have been nominated to be placed on the National Registers of the Historic Places. And one of those nominations is from our area, the First Presbyterian Church of Watkins Glen. The building was completed back in 1868. If this building gets added to the National Registers list, then it would be eligible for various public preservation programs. The only step left is a review and final approval. Profiles of Lyme is returning to Community Arts of Elmira for a second year. Individuals with Lyme disease will tell their stories through original poetry, prose, and music. It's a night to reflect, bring awareness, and share empowerment for the people living with Lyme disease in our community. We spoke with some of the founders of the event.
We want to create an environment for people, again, directly and not directly impacted by Lyme.
It's emotional, but that's a good thing, right? It speaks to our heart, and it really connects with us in a deep way that, again, as we've been saying, unites us all.
Profiles of Lyme is taking place Saturday, October 26th from 7 to 9 p.m. Florida Fried Chicken on Route 287 in Tioga, Pennsylvania has been named the state's best hole-in-the-wall spot for fried chicken. MSN ranking the best spot in each of the 50 states. They say Florida Fried Chicken, deeply bronzed chicken dotted with spices, is some of the best you can find, and the owners agree.
It is my recipe on the chicken and my wife's recipe on the sides. Our sides are homemade. Chicken is fresh. We have nothing frozen. We put a little bit more pride in it, and we can do so since it's our restaurant, and over KFC.
Florida Fried Chicken has been open since 2012. So if you are looking for some good fried chicken this weekend, then check them out. The time is now 6:07, and still to come on 18 News Today. Members of the Santa Barbara community gather to hold a candle vigil for those lives lost after the fatal dive boat fire.
Dry start to your morning, but you might want to have that umbrella handy as you head throughout the afternoon, as we do see that chance for showers working in. Temperatures on the cooler side, though, making it up into the lower 70s. I'll have a full look at your forecast coming up in just a bit.
You're watching 18 News Today.
Members of the community gathered at a vigil in Santa Barbara, honoring the 34 victims of that fatal dive boat fire. Representatives from the community wellness team, the dive community, and local chaplains offered words of condolences and support. Organizers say they wanted to bring the community together to grieve and to heal. The remains of 18 of the 34 people who died in the boat fire on Labor Day have been identified, and 9 of the names have been released. Preliminary examinations suggest that all of the victims died from smoke inhalation inside of the fire after burns. The cause of the fire still remains under investigation. Actress Felicity Huffman may serve 1 month in jail for her role in the college admissions scandal. Huffman pleaded guilty earlier this year for committing mail fraud, along with her connection to a $15,000 payment to an SAT proctor to fix an answer on her daughter's exam. Prosecutors advise she should spend 1 month in jail as well as pay a $20,000 fine. In their filing, they call Huffman's conduct deliberate and manifestly criminal, saying neither probation nor home confinement would constitute meaningful punishment. Prosecutors would also like Huffman to be supervised for up to 1 year after her jail time. Starbucks is opening its largest ever location in Chicago. That title was previously held by its Tokyo store. The 4-story Chicago roastery is 43,000 square feet. Roasteries feature specialty coffees and teas, roasteries on site, cocktails, and even a bit of fancier edge compared to regular Starbucks locations. Starbucks has 6 total, including 1 in New York, Milan, and Shanghai. The Chicago roastery will open November 15th in the city's Manifest Mile neighborhood. The estranged husband of missing mother of 5 was back in a Connecticut court on Friday, answering to a civil lawsuit. Fotis Doulos is currently out on bail after being charged with tampering with evidence. Matt Caron has details on Friday's hearing.
Fotis Doulos back in a Hartford court Friday, this time a civil suit.
Fotis, do you have anything to say to Jennifer's family?
Doulos is accused of stealing $2.5 million from Jennifer's mother, Gloria Farber.
Fotis, do you plan on paying back the money?
Fotis claims it was a gift.
What makes you think that money was a gift, Fotis?
Farber's attorney, Richard Weinstein, claims Fotis hasn't been financially supporting his kids.
This man didn't pay a dime in alimony, let alone a dime in child support.
They're taking the case to trial in December.
Try to recover some of the money for his kids.
It capped off a week of legal updates.
Why are you guys here today?
Michelle Traconis and Doulos both picking up an additional charge of evidence tampering.
It was obvious that she was going through a lot. She was, separating from her husband. She was leaving the house.
Also Friday, new insight into the mindset of Jennifer Doulos during her divorce. Jeffrey and Gina Bunch own the moving company that helped her relocate from Farmington to New Canaan.
She was scared. Yeah. She was absolutely scared.
A move that was rescheduled 4 times.
And we'd actually go down there, and we weren't allowed in.
By who?
By her husband. Wouldn't let the gentleman into the house.
On the day the move finally happened, Jennifer asked the movers to show up incognito.
She wanted me to come, in my regular clothes, in a vehicle that wasn't marked.
That's very unusual, and she definitely did not want word to get out where she was going and when she was going there.
She described Fotis as aloof.
And I have a wonderful husband, and I trust him explicitly. When you see the opposite of that, it jumps off the page. I had no desire to, have a conversation with any of us.
The time is now 6:14, and still to come on 18 News Today. The Grand Prix is back at the Glen, but don't drag your feet because the festival is close to driving away.
If you plan on taking your furry friend out for a walk today, it is a nice start to the day under dry conditions. Heading towards the afternoon, though, this is when we begin to increase our chance for some scattered showers and temperatures feeling more like fall. Have a full look at your forecast coming up right after the break. dry and comfortable start to your Saturday, luckily enough. And temperatures right now in those mid to upper 50 marks hang throughout the day, staying on the cooler side, feeling more like fall out there as we head throughout your afternoon, as temperatures are primarily going to make it up into those lower 70s all across the Twin Tiers. Right now here in Elmira, we're currently sitting at 57 degrees, and we are sitting under partly cloudy skies. All across the Twin Tiers, though, you can see we are pretty much in those mid to upper 50 marks, especially across the northern tier where we're towards 57 down near Troy, 56 out towards Corning, and then Spencer is sitting at 54 degrees. High temperatures today all across the Twin Tiers are going to be on the cooler side around those lower 70 marks. There is a chance for even some places to stay hovering around 70 degrees as we head throughout the afternoon. Take a look at current satellite and radar, pretty much under partly cloudy skies out towards the Finger Lakes region. That's where we had some scattered light showers earlier on this morning. But as we head throughout the afternoon hours, increasing that chance to see some scattered showers work in. This is going to be associated with a weak disturbance that's going to be working through this afternoon and into this evening. You can see around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, this is when we fully increase that chance to see some scattered showers work through. Those will continue to work through as that disturbance works through. Then heading towards the overnight hours, we see some breaks of cloud cover, chance to see patchy fog develop, and then heading throughout your Sunday. Although we are dealing with some cloud cover through the morning, high pressure will begin to build in, which means drier air will begin to make its way into the Twin Tiers area. Although you see rain showing up right now on the radar, on the Futurecast, not much is going to really fall tomorrow. It's going to be very isolated in spots if we even see a shower fall tomorrow, and that's all thanks to high pressure building in. Drier air is going to be moving in as well, so not much moisture is going to be able to work its way into our area. Heading towards early Monday morning, still dealing with that cloud cover, but luckily enough, we are going to be seeing some more sun, and that sun's going to be sticking around for Monday and Tuesday, but then our next storm system brings up our chances to see some showers and even thunderstorms heading into Wednesday. Temperatures today making up towards 72 degrees, scattered showers as we head towards your afternoon hours. Heading into the overnight hours, mostly cloudy skies, isolated showers early as that system continues to work through. Temperatures drop back to 51 degrees as we head into early tomorrow morning. Heading into tomorrow, luckily enough, drier air works in, so we see the return of that sunshine with a mixture of clouds throughout the afternoon, around 70 degrees, keeping it around and hovering that 70-degree mark as we head into Monday as well. Drier weather sticks around as well as we head into Tuesday. Unsettled weather will make a return midweek, though, showers and storms. Temperatures nearing 82 degrees, but once that system works through Wednesday, temperatures are falling right back down into the lower 70s.
And the U.S. Vintage Grand Prix is back at Watkins Glen this weekend. The Grand Prix Festival celebrates the history of post-World War II road racing from 1948 to 1952. The 8th featured highlight of the festival is a tribute to the original Grand Prix races using the original 6.6-mile road course.
Just came up to watch the cars race. We're staying at the campground over here. We come up every year. It's a really enjoyable day. We love coming up here. It's a great time. I love watching the vintage cars get started and get moving. It's really a lot of fun.
And racing continues throughout the weekend with the Hillard U.S. Vintage Grand Prix races held at the nearby Watkins Glen International Racecourse. A reminder this morning, this weekend marks the end of a community-wide food drive to help collect non-perishable food items for local children at risk. The Fill the Bus campaign is taking place at Wegmans stores across the Southern Tier. The food goes to support the food bank of the Southern Tier's backpack program. The backpack program helps to feed children on the weekends and right before the holiday breaks from school. The time is now 6:21, and still to come on 18 News Today. In the midst of a chicken sandwich craze, McDonald's is now adding a new item to their menu. McDonald's is about to fire the newest salvo in the fast food chicken sandwich battle, and that tops our look at consumer news. The fast food giant plans to offer a new spicy barbecue chicken sandwich in its locations nationwide beginning this Wednesday. At the same time, McDonald's will also offer spicy barbecue glazed chicken tenders. This comes as Popeyes is working to restock the recently introduced chicken sandwich that it ran out of last month, taking direct aim at the company seen by many as the ruling fast food chicken sandwich roost, Chick-fil-A. The Wall Street Journal reports streaming music services, including Spotify and Apple Music, added more than 1 million U.S. subscribers per month in the first half of this year. That's according to figures from the Recording Industry of America, which also says streaming services now provide 80% of total music industry revenues in the U.S. Interest in old-fashioned vinyl albums continues as a resurgence. They grew to account for about 4.5% of total revenues.
Comfortable through this weekend and the beginning of the work week, but unfortunately that humidity is going to be creeping back up on us as we head into your Wednesday. I'll have another look at your forecast right after the break.
You're watching 18 News Today.
Welcome back. Jessica is going to give us one more look at outside and tell us and remind us again out of which the two of us who's going to be more comfortable for today.
I mean, I think we both are. I think it depends on how you feel with certain temperatures, honestly. Temperatures right now here in Elmira around 57 degrees. We are seeing a lot of that cloud cover this morning, and this is why our temperatures stayed pretty mild as we went throughout the overnight hours. All across the Twin Tiers, you can see we're pretty much in those lower to mid 50 marks, 55 in Tawana, 54 out towards Spencer. Radar showing mainly cloudy skies out there. There were some light showers up towards the Finger Lakes area as we went through the early portions of the morning hours. Luckily enough, though, right now we're pretty dry, but heading towards the afternoon, this is when we're increasing that chance to see some scattered showers again. This is going to be associated with a weak disturbance that's going to be working through. Around 72 for our high today. That northwest wind from 5 to 15 miles per hour is going to be really keeping us on the cooler side heading towards the afternoon. So definitely feeling like fall out there. Keeping some drier weather in place as we go through Sunday and then into Tuesday, thanks to high pressure moving through. Around 70 degrees for both Sunday and Monday. Heading towards Wednesday, this is when next storm system works in, bringing up shower and storm chances and temperatures nearing 82 before dropping back into the lower 70s for Thursday.
Thank you for that, Jessica. The time is now 6:28, and still to come on 18 News Today. On this week's episode of Hidden Landmarks, learn about one of the most famous animals in Elmira's history and just so much more. This week's episode is coming up next.
Now on 18 News.
On this week's episode of Hidden Landmarks, learn about one of the most famous animals in Elmira's history and so much more. This week's episode of Hidden Landmarks is coming up next. And even a decade later, the FDNY is still adding names to their 9/11 memorial. Plus, rats in New York have always been a problem, but has this rodent problem found its match?
Live from your local news leader, this is 18 News Today.
Good Saturday morning, Twin Tiers. I'm Alexis Bellamy, and today is September 7th.
And I'm Jessica Camille. Thank you for joining us for 18 News Today.
And it's fall. September finally means fall.
Well, it hasn't officially hit fall yet. It feels like fall.
It feels like fall. We're almost at fall. I know, because you guys really have to be really spot on with dates. Okay, we're almost fall, and we look very almost fallish, even though you're in long sleeves and I'm in short sleeves.
It's kind of still fall colors, like autumn colors, and the changing of the leaves, and luckily enough, that's going to be coming soon. But temperatures right now around 57 degrees here in downtown Elmira. Seeing a lot of cloud cover this morning. That sun is trying to peek through the clouds already, but all across the Twin Tiers, temperatures are primarily in the lower to mid-50 marks, staying at 54 out towards Spencer, 55 down near Twanit, and 57 out near Troy. Our wind speeds are on the calmer side, but this is going to be picking up as we head throughout the afternoon and bringing in some cooler air into our area, which is why temperatures are primarily going to be staying in the lower 70s today. Under partly to mainly cloudy skies right now all across the Twin Tiers. Heading towards the afternoon hours, we are going to keep this cloud cover around, but we're also increasing that chance to see some scattered showers, especially towards mid-afternoon and then into your early evening hours. Temperatures throughout the day are going to warm up into the lower 70 marks. Some areas may even still stay hovered around 70 degrees. I'll have a better look at your forecast coming up in just a bit, and a look at when some drier weather will make its way to the Twin Tiers.
On this week's episode of Hidden Landmarks, we're going to learn about one of the most famous animals in Elmira's history and so much more that goes along with it. This week's episode of Hidden Landmarks is finally here, and it's happening right now. Let's take a look.
This is the most famous pig in Elmira, New York. I'm J.D. Isles, and this is Quick History with Hidden Landmarks. So we are in back of Elmira College right now. We are specifically on the corner of North Main Street and West 7th, and we're right on the side of a parking lot. And we have this monument, which must be one of the strangest monuments I have seen in the city of Elmira. Obviously a very famous pig. I was not able to find out specifically why there is a monument to Patty's pig here. Quite honestly, I don't think you can even do historical research on a character called Patty's pig. But I can make a very, very educated guess as to why this is such an important pig. When I mentioned this marker to Rachel Dworkin at the Chemung County Historical Society, she immediately pulled a picture out of her desk, like she had it ready, and she showed me a picture of a pig from the mid-1800s on Lake Street in Elmira, and it shows a pig just freely roaming the streets. And that's really what we had going on in the mid-1800s here in Elmira. Just pigs roaming loose like dogs, eating just about any piece of garbage they could possibly find. The city fathers of Elmira realized that they had a little bit of a problem because pigs just aren't keeping up. In 1919, the city of Elmira decided, you know what, let's just go full-on pig. Daniel Livens, who had a piggery on Mount Zor Road, was the guy who collected all of the garbage and took care of the pigs. He must have smelled fantastic at night. At this piggery, he had somewhere between 40 to 300 pigs. I realize that's kind of a big range, but welcome to historical research. And one of the advantages of the whole pig solution problem was, number one, free waste disposal. Number 2, an unlimited supply of grease and oil for the World War I effort. And number 3, bacon, delicious. Needless to say, the pig solution did not go all that well. I can only imagine the amazing ways that it did not go well. I would imagine when you're putting an entire city's garbage through a herd of pigs, a lot of stuff comes out the other end. So in 1920s, they said, you know what? Let's just bury it. And in the 1930s, the city finally built its own incinerator. And, you know, I'm just sitting here right now trying to imagine what it would look and sound like trying to feed an entire city's garbage to an enormous herd of pigs. I'm Jay.
Neighbors coming out for another edition of Alive After 5. The free concert series put on by Elmira Downtown Development was outside the Elks Lodge on Friday night. Food, drink, and music on a beautiful evening. The next and final Alive After 5 for the season will happen September 20th at Riverfront Park. The FDNY added the names of 22 members who died of illnesses related to their work in the rescue and recovery efforts at the World Trade Center at the FDNY World Trade Center Memorial Wall. Nearly 18 years later, and the memorial is still growing. FDNY Commissioner Daniel Nedro and other officials were joined by the families of the FDNY members during the ceremony on Friday at FDNY headquarters. More than 200 FDNY members have died of 9/11 related illnesses since the 2001 terror attacks and cleanup efforts at Ground Zero. It's been almost 18 years since the 9/11 attacks, and now there's more evidence that first responders at Ground Zero are at risk for serious health problems. A new study looked at medical records of nearly 9,800 New York City firefighters who worked at the World Trade Center site. It showed those who arrived first, when airborne dust was the thickest, had a 44% higher risk of heart attack, stroke, or other heart-related issue than those who came the next day. The risk was also higher for firefighters who worked at Ground Zero for 6 months or more compared to those who worked less. Researchers say these findings emphasize the importance of monitoring the health of anyone exposed to massive environmental disasters. Talk about drowning your problems in booze. That's literally what Brooklyn is going to do about its rat problem. Folks there are fed up with all the rats, so they're employing a new rat dunking gadget to get rid of them. A company aptly named Rat Trap created what they're calling Ecmo. It looks like a plain box, but there are seeds and nuts inside of it, a nice little snack to get the rodents inside. But once they're in there, there's a trap door that drops them into a mixture of water and alcohol. It knocks them out right away, and they eventually drown.
And they're contained in there. There's no scent, there's no smell, there's no decaying, there's no spread of bacteria, there's nothing. They're in the unit until we clean them out.
The city tested out the box recently and ended up catching 107 rats with it in just a month in one building. Now the rat trap is headed for Brooklyn's most rat-infested neighborhoods. The time is now 6:40, and still to come on 18 News Today. Developments in the horrifying kidnapping case of Nalani Johnson continue to arise. What investigators now know.
We will certainly be feeling like fall as we head throughout the next few days. Luckily enough, though, warming up towards midweek, but then temperatures dropping right back into the lower 70s after Wednesday. I'll have a look at your forecast coming up in just a bit.
You're watching 18 News Today.
memorial service was held Friday night to remember rapper Mac Miller. Miller was found dead last year from a toxic mix-up drugs at his home in Studio City. The memorial at Blue Slide Park featured live paintings and activities in Penn Hills, Pennsylvania. Another vigil will be held today, marking the one-year anniversary of the rapper's death. The rapper's music will play while friends and family share their thoughts and memories. Donations from the event will benefit the victims of the Tree of Life synagogue shooting, which happened 1 month after Miller's death. Senior citizens in Pennsylvania protested family separation, child detention, and conditions at immigration facilities. The demonstrations by the group Elder Witness was held outside an ICE office in Philadelphia on Wednesday. Many demonstrators dressed as Lady Liberty, including one locked in a cage. Protesters also shared stories of detained migrants. In a statement, the group said it advocates for moral, kind, and legal immigration policies that represent the will of the American people whose values welcome immigrants. The demonstration comes the same day that a government watchdog released a report on immigrant children. It details emotional struggles they have faced after being separated from their families at the border. The Allegheny County District Attorney says the death of Nalani Johnson, who was abducted Saturday in Penn Hills, is expected to be ruled as a homicide. The woman charged in her kidnapping was said to be romantically involved with the child's father. Rick Earl reports.
Do you have any idea why this woman would do this? Well, I'm really not permitted to speak as to motive, but there's a lot of people there's a lot of questions that still need to be answered.
Allegheny County District Attorney Stephen Zappala says homicide charges will soon be filed against Sharina Nancy. She's accused of driving off with 2-year-old Nalani Johnson after an argument with the toddler's father.
So they were at Kennywood all day, had a good day, they get out of the car. Did Johnson have an argument with this woman? There's some evidence that would indicate that.
Zappala wouldn't describe that argument, but says the father, who had a relationship with Nancy, and a friend attempted to get the child out, but Nancy took off. Investigators captured Nancy driving through 2 virtual checkpoints and stopping at a convenience store in Murraysville. The FBI also tracked her phone to the location where searchers ultimately found the toddler's body.
She was found in the car seat, completely strapped in, as if she was in the car, car itself.
Do you believe that she was alive at that point or not?
I don't want to speculate about that. I mean, I'm going to let the coroner do his job.
But Zappala added that she did not die from exposure and there was no sign of trauma. While he wouldn't talk about the cause of death, he indicated that all of the searches likely wouldn't have made a difference.
We sincerely appreciate all the effort that was put into this, but I don't think any effort that was undertaken after Saturday would have saved that child's life.
The time is now 6:45 and still to come on 18 News Today. We'll have more news and weather right after the break.
As you're heading out the door this morning, it may be on the drier side, but heading towards the afternoon, this is when we increase that chance to see some scattered showers develop. Temperatures on the cooler side around the lower 70s. I'll have a look at your forecast right after the break.
Coming up on 18 Sports, high school football is back in New York. Week 1 highlights with Corning, Haverling, and Tioga all in action. 18 Sports is next.
Dry start to your Saturday, and as we head towards the afternoon, that is going to be changing as we watch a weak disturbance work its way into the Twin Tiers, and we increase that chance to see some scattered showers. We are going to be feeling like fall, though, as temperatures are going to hover around the lower 70s, and some of us staying right around 70 degrees today. Taking a look at current temperatures, pretty much in those mid to upper 50 marks right now. Sarah's sitting at 57, 54 up near Spencer, 57 also here in Elmira. We are going to see temperatures rise up into the lower 70s today. Some areas may even stay in the upper 60s. You can see that right here, and it's all going to be depending on how much sun we actually see. And along with this, we are going to be seeing a breeze out of the northwest, which is going to bring in some cooler air into our area. Taking a look at satellite and radar, pretty much under partly to mostly cloudy skies. We did have some light rain showers up to the north of us, up towards the Finger Lakes area. Heading towards the afternoon hours, we are increasing that chance to see scattered showers work in, especially by mid-afternoon and into the early evening hours associated with that weak disturbance that's going to work through. But as we head towards the overnight hours and into early Sunday morning, we do get a break from the wet weather. We are going to see some patchy fog develop, be under partly to mainly cloudy skies heading throughout the overnight hours. Into the early mornings of your Sunday, we are going to still see some of that cloud cover. There is just an isolated chance to see a shower tomorrow. This is all due to a high pressure system that's going to work in, bring in drier air to our atmosphere, which means drier weather as we head into the end of the weekend and into the start of the work week next week. So, I mean, although we have to deal with some showers today, luckily enough, heading into the work week next week, we are going to be starting off on the nicer side, seeing a mixture of sun, some clouds. Temperatures are still going to be in the lower 70s, but they are going to be working their way up towards 82 degrees by the time we hit Wednesday. Heading throughout the day today, though, around 72 degrees, sun and clouds. We will see that mixture. Our winds out of the northwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour. This is going to bring in some cooler air into our atmosphere, which is going to help keep our temperatures down into the lower 70s, hovering around that 70-degree mark. Keeping scattered showers in the forecast as we head towards the afternoon hours. Luckily enough, though, heading into the overnight hours, we are going to see them linger early on tonight and be isolated in spots as well. But luckily enough, heading towards the later part of the overnight hours, we are going to be drying out a bit, and this is as that high pressure system is going to slowly begin to continue to approach our area. Temperatures dropping back into the lower 50s tonight. If we do lose a lot more of this cloud cover, we do have a chance to see temperatures drop down into the closer to 50 degrees, and this is thanks to the clear skies and calm winds that we'll see. But heading throughout the remainder of the week, luckily enough, starting off the week is going to be nice before wet weather returns for your Wednesday. I'll have a final check of your full 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit. For now, though, I'm going to toss it over to sports.
The wait is over. High school football in New York is back. Week 1 is here. Let's start in Corning, where the Hawks are trying to start their season with a win at home. The Hawks hosting the Vestal Golden Bears at Corning Memorial Stadium in front of a packed house. Let's get right into the action here. It's Corning punting the ball. They can't hang on to it, and it's Vestal's Alexander Thrasher who recovers through the return team and recovers for Vestal. Later on, Corning with a double ball fake. Fullback Dylan Kennedy with a huge run for the Hawks. That sets up this. Blake Van Wert rolls out play action. He finds Sam Wakeman on a diving catch. Great throw and catch there for the Hawks. Then we head to the other end. Justin Rodriguez uses his blockers beautifully for the score. It was all Corning in this one as they pull out the win 41-0. Reigning Section 4 Class D champs Tioga hosting Walton. First quarter, the Warriors get on the board first as QB Dylan Jacob tosses to Morgan Condon to give them a 6-0 lead. Then on the ensuing kickoff return, the Tigers answer right back. Emmett Wood on the return, and he zigzags across the field, finds an opening, and he is gone. Wood takes it all the way to the house. Tioga goes up 7-6. Same score in the second. The Tigers add to their lead. It's Wood again. He punches it in for another 6. Tioga wins a close one, 23-20. Haverling beginning their season at home against Penn Yan. Penyan's Micah Mahan showing off some great footwork here, keeping his balance for a good gain for Penyan. Later on in the drive, it's Kyle Berna looking to go deep here, but it's picked off by Joshua Goodwin, giving Haverling the ball deep in their own territory late in the half. Haverling looks to try to get a quick score before the half. It's running back Damian Hall with a huge run to the outside, but it's Penyan that squeezes out a win in this one by a score of 10-6. And to check out highlights from Week 3 in Pennsylvania, you can head to our website, mytwintiers.com/sports, and click on 18 Sports Blitz Part 2. That'll do it for a look at sports this morning. For 18 Sports, I'm Chuck Brain.
A 74-year-old woman in India gave birth to twins on Thursday, September 5th. Yermati Mangama and her 82-year-old husband have tried to have children for 57 years. She was unable to conceive after her marriage in 1962, where doctors believed that when doctors delivered the twin girls through cesarean section. One of her doctors said she surprised everyone by conceiving in the first round of IVF. The CDC has launched a multi-state investigation into a rapidly growing number of vaping-related respiratory illnesses. This news comes after Indiana health officials announced a new death tied to e-cigarettes. Sarah Doloff has the story.
Amid a surge of new vaping-related lung illnesses, an intensifying investigation by federal and state health officials into what is making people sick. The CDC now reporting 450 possible cases across 33 states. 4 people have died. All are believed to have used e-cigarettes.
I didn't think that that little pod could do so much damage on my body.
18-year-old Adam Hergenrader was rushed to the hospital last weekend where he was diagnosed with a lung infection. He's now taking steroids, antibiotics, and using supplemental oxygen.
He's living proof of what it does. The pictures of his lungs, living proof of what vaping does to your lungs.
A new editorial in the New England Journal of Medicine takes a closer look at more than 50 cases in Illinois and Wisconsin, finding most patients were healthy, male, and had a median age of 19. 98% were hospitalized, a third required ventilation. Doctors in other states report a range of serious symptoms.
Shortness of breath, cough, and even some GI symptoms, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Sometimes we see blood in the airway, which can be alarming.
The CDC believes a chemical is responsible, but hasn't identified a single substance, product, or device. In the meantime, officials are urging consumers not to use e-cigarettes or buy vaping products off the street. Sarah Doloff, NBC News.
Well, as you're heading out the door this morning, it is on the drier side, but heading towards the afternoon, increasing that chance to see some scattered showers work in and temperatures in the lower 70s. So if you do have any lawn work to get done, I suggest doing it this morning, just in case those showers do interrupt any of your plans. I'll have a final look at your forecast coming up after the break.
You're watching 18 News Today.
Welcome back to Interiors. Jessica's going to give us one final look at what's outside of our window and let us know what to expect.
Yeah, so we're starting off on the cooler side today, around 54 degrees, making it up into the lower 70s. Chance for scattered showers, but luckily enough, drier weather will return for your Sunday and then into the beginning portions of the work week.
You know, that's how I like my week to look. Just maybe 1 or 2 days of rain and then just sun.
Nicer weather.
Everywhere.
Exactly.
Thank you for joining us for WTM 18 News Today.
The Today Show is next. Have a great day.